I know Milt Thompson very well. Probably been my friend for something approaching 40 years. He's a unique, remarkable, good-hearted, smart, loving, caring, serving lawyer and leader in our community.
He's a lawyer who's willing to give his time free, like Mr. Whistler did, to projects that he believes in.
Milt is just so generous with his heart, his time, his money. He's just been a great role model for me to always be so proud of, to say, hey, that's my mentor there.
When he was first born, I was at the swimming pool, and as I was coming home, some people told me that your mother just came home from the hospital and you have a new brother. I was so excited, I ran all the way home.
Well, I know he's an important member of the Capital Improvements Board, which is a big deal. He's been very involved in Indiana Sports Corp, which is a big deal. I know that he played a huge role in the merger of Big Brothers Big Sisters, and that was a tricky deal. And he was, I was at CICF when that was going on, and Milt would kind of give me an update, and I know that was not going to be an easy merger, and he negotiated that. He made that happen. He navigated that.
So I was on the Big Sisters board at that time of the merger, and really without Milt's help, again, bringing two groups together, I think this is a skill that he really has, understanding what's important to each group and helping them understand how, by working together, more can be accomplished.
Milt is passionate about the well-being of young people and opportunities for kids. He was an All-American baseball player at Wittenberg. He's been a faithful leader within the Indianapolis Indians organization for many years.
Well, the organization was originally called the Indiana Amateur Baseball Association. It then became Play Ball Indiana, and now it's Indianapolis RBI, which stands for Reviving Baseball in Inner Cities. It's a program sponsored nationally by Major League Baseball, and we're an affiliate for the last 25 years. And Milt founded the organization back in 1982 when he was a young deputy prosecutor here with the city, a sitting judge here in town, who was presiding over a case that Milt was trying. And it involved two young males that were in trouble, young guys, high school age guys. And the judge asked Milt to stay over after trial and meet him in his chambers. And of course, Milt being a young attorney, he goes, oh my gosh, what kind of problem am I in for? And the judge threw down a copy of Sports Illustrated that showed the incarceration rates of young African-American men in the city. Not the city, but the country. And says, you're a bright young attorney, you should do something about this. And so Milt took that as a challenge to start this organization, and he always had this theme that he wanted kids stealing second base, not cars.
He loved sports, but he was a big baseball player in college and I guess in high school, and probably could have gone professional, but chose not to.
He was all about sports and baseball and so forth, and I tease him to this day that everything he knows about baseball, I taught him. He said, yeah, sure. But I used to throw him balls when he was a little fellow, and I'd throw him hard and it'd kind of burn his hands. And to this day he says, no, you didn't really teach me anything about baseball.
I was relatively new to Indianapolis, and I knew that if I was going to learn anything about the city, I had to know certain people. And I targeted Milt as one of those people, and he's been a good friend ever since. Well, I think I know most about his work with the Central Indiana Community Foundation. He was a very important factor in helping the foundation initiate its major shift in focus a couple of years ago. And while he's always been an advocate for racial equity, I think this was the time when You had to work hard, let's say.
Well, Milt was a very, very big part of the creation of CICF. So as a trustee of the Indianapolis Foundation, which is one of the oldest community foundations in the world, going back to 1916, Milt hasn't been there the whole time, by the way. He jokes that maybe he has, but he hasn't. But Milt was on the board, I think, for 27 years. And he was a board leader in 1997 when this merger happened, when the Indianapolis Foundation and at the time the Legacy Fund of Hamilton County, now known as Hamilton County Community Foundation, when they decided to come together and create CICF, Milt was the first board chair of CICF. And he helped to broker that deal.
He really helped the Legacy Fund and the Indianapolis Foundation come together to form the Central Indiana Community Foundation. His advice and counsel on the board, I think, has been really meaningful as CICF has shifted to a greater focus on racial equity. Milt has been tremendous, and I think he's given me and other board members insight that we might not otherwise have into what's going on in the community, injustices that have been done in the past, and the reason why it's so important to do the work that we're now doing.
Compassion is one of the things that describes Milt. He's always been compassionate about the least of these, and he has a servant attitude. His work ethic, we both got that from our dad. He always told us, give it all you got, and if you promise somebody something, that's the integrity part. He always told us, if you promise you're going to do something, do it. Have integrity and tell people that let them know you're honest with them. And then faith, of course. We got, both of us got that from our mother. But we always say, be thankful and think of others before you think of yourself.
Oh, he's just a great guy. What can I say? He loves his daughter like crazy, loves his family. His father had a business here, and he's willing to help anybody. I mean, I considered him a mentor, even though I'm probably older than him, but because of what I needed, he was my mentor.
He is very proud of Macy, and Macy's going on to do great things. He works with Johns Hopkins. She's Dr. Macy Thompson, and she takes right after her dad. She was selfless.
Macy's an amazing young lady. He is so proud of her. She has achieved so many great things in her young life, and I know she lives on the East Coast now, but there is a very, very special relationship there that he's so proud of. And when you're in his house, lots of pictures of her all over the place, and she's a delightful young lady.
I think this is one of the most special awards anybody can receive. To be recognized for what you've given back to your community. So I just say, congratulations, Milt, and thank you for all that you've done for Indianapolis.
Leadership is so often learned or taught by example. And Milt Thompson is an example of the best, of bringing people together, of working on projects and programs that are inclusive. Sports, music, cultural activities, education, bring people together.
And I think that's one of the themes of Milt. He knows how to navigate. He knows how to sense what's going to be conflict, what's not going to be conflict, navigate around it, through it, in the middle of it. That's one of his superpowers, I think.
He doesn't seem to age. He just seems to get better and better and better. And I expect him to continue to do that for the next 10 to 15 years.